Alright, so we're going to figure out the trig ratios from the unit circle, focusing on counting every 30 degrees. Okay? We remember from the unit circle that the radius is always 1, and because of that, the sine of theta is always equal to the y coordinate, because it's always the y, its height, over 1. The cosine is x, and the tangent would be the y over the x coordinate, okay, of its location on the unit circle. Cosecant is 1 over sine. So cosecant theta is 1 over y. The secant is 1 over the x, and the cotangent would be the x over the y. Alright, so here we have the unit circle with a radius of 1, and we're going to focus on counting every 30 degrees. Okay, so here I've gone 30 degrees, 60, the y-axis is 90, so I go another 30, and I've gone 120 degrees, 150 degrees, another 30 gives me the 180, go another 30, I'm going 210 degrees, 240 degrees, the y-axis is 270, add 30, so 300 degrees, and 330 degrees. Alright, we can do this in radians as well, because if we're counting by 30 degrees, we're counting by pi over 6. Okay, so this 30 degrees, this is pi over 6. And then just keep counting by pi over 6. 2 pi over 6 reduces to pi over 3. 3 pi over 6 would be pi over 2, which is the axis. 4 pi over 6 reduces to 2 pi over 3. 5 pi over 6. 6 pi over 6 is just this pi right here. 7 pi over 6. 8 pi over 6 reduces to 4 pi over 3. 9 pi over 6 is the axis. 10 pi over 6, so 5 pi over 3. And then 11 pi over 6. All the way back to 12 pi over 6, which would be 2 pi, going all the way around. Okay, now what we're interested in is finding these points on the circle. Okay, so we're going to bring out this triangle to try to figure out the point. So looking at this triangle right here, this 30 degree, if I pull that out to the side, I have the radius is 1, so this hypotenuse is 1, hypotenuse. This is 30 degrees, and I'm going to drop a 90 degree angle. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. From special right triangles, we know that whatever is across from the 30 is half of the hypotenuse. So since my hypotenuse is 1, this side must be 1/2. And then whatever's across from the 60 is whatever's across from the 30 times the square root of 3. So 1/2 times the square root of 3 is square root of 3 over 2. So here I have the x length, square root of 3 over 2, and the height is 1/2, so this point is at square root of 3 over 2, 1/2. Alright, we can use the same tools to figure out this 60 degree. It makes a taller triangle. where this is 60, so this must be 30. And using the same rules, if this hypotenuse is still 1, then this must be a half, and this must be square root of 3 over 2. So their coordinates are just swapped. 1/2 with a height of square root of 3 over 2. All of these points are just reflections of the other points. So we can go around and label the entire unit circle now, just changing our x's to negatives on the left-hand side and our y's to negatives whenever we're in the bottom half of the coordinate. Okay, so now that we have the unit circle set up, counting by every 30 degrees, we can figure out trig ratios for each of those degrees. Okay? If I wanted to know the cotangent of 2 pi over 3, then I recall that cotangent is the x over the y. So I find 2 pi over 3. It's right here. It's 2 pi over 3. So now I have the x coordinate, negative 1/2, over the y coordinate, square root of 3 over 2. Okay. I'm dividing fractions, so I'm going to take that negative 1/2 and multiply it by 2 over the square root of 3. The 2's cancel. And now I have negative 1 over the square root of 3. I got to simplify the denominator. I got to rationalize the denominator. So I multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3. And I get negative square root of 3 over 3. Okay, if I wanted to find the secant of 300 degrees, well, what's the secant? Yeah, it's 1 over the cosine, so 1 over x. I find 300 degrees. It's right here, and I look at the x coordinate, 1/2. So it's 1 over 1/2. We're dividing a fraction, so it's 1 times 2 over 1. So the secant at 300 degrees is 2. Or the secant of 300 degrees is 2. Alright, lastly, let's do the tangent of 240 degrees. So tangent is the y over the x. I find 240 degrees, and so it's the y over the x. So negative square root of 3 over 2 over negative 1 over 2. Negative over negative, we know it's going to end up being positive, so this is square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. 2's cancel, and the tangent of 240 degrees is the square root of 3.